Welcome to Danny Houlihan's Irish Experience podcast. Join Danny on a journey through the historical island of Ireland, its people and the wild Atlantic Way, which is Ireland's last frontier. Experience the music and the culture that makes up the longest coastal driving route in the world. Now, please welcome your host, Danny Houlihan.
Couldn't fall to the Schlean Atlantic Ian. Welcome to the Wild Atlantic Way and Danny Houlihan's Irish Experience Show. Our studio Ballybunion, Vinawn the Shunana Kunde Kerry. Welcome to you all from the banks of the Shannon River in North Kerry, Ireland. I hope you're all keeping well and safe, my friends, and if you're jogging, walking or cycling, please take care. In this episode, I travel out on another journey. A journey into North Kerry's hidden places and spend some time with our people and friends within the natural landscape which our ancestors lived, worked and played in. This episode is an example of an event that took place many a time in Ireland long ago, where people rambled from their houses late into the evening time to a neighbour's house or a friend's house to talk and hear of the day's news and the happenings of the area. The kettle was always put on the fire and food shared with each other. Practices slowly on the decline in modern times in Ireland. A person might sing, play an instrument, or a few verses of a local poem might be recited in Irish to an always happy and attentive household and friends. It's a throwback to a period in Ireland when there was no lights, TVs or videos. A link back to a period after the Great Irish Famine or Holocaust of 1846 and Black 47. This journey, which is only the first of many, from my time with my friends, this special event was called Sing for Your Supper and was organised by a new Ballybunion group called Brilliant Ballybunion, which I'm a part of, who are achieving many goals, such as food production in the area and an awareness of biodiversity, spearheaded by Artistic Director Lisa Finkleton, our Artistic Director Rena Blake, our local photographer and horticulturalist, and Grotto Aghafona of our acclaimed yoga and meditation festival, Maya, who are taking us all on a new artistic journey deep into the heartlands of Ireland, linking us all together with the world of art and creative practices, coupled with food production but backdropped by the scenic places where we gather. In the natural area of Barna Way, called the Barna Way in North Kerry. Thanks to Rena Blake, who has taken time to show us all how to sow, plant and harvest food from our precious landscape. This unique episode will give you an insight how we now are linking back to our past history and a forgotten history which is interwoven with the landscape, food production and our precious woodlands that are left, and its people, who due to no fault of their own were laid waste by the local landlords and their well-orchestrated plan to annihilate the Irish language and all artistic heritage and local food production, which I have to say was lost to time. Special thanks to Creative Ireland for this initiative, which is growing a greater awareness in our food, our landscape, biodiversity, and linking our artistic creative talents together, which is truly Brilliant Ballybunion. Now, I'm not going to slice the audio to bits, but I will give you a taste of the journey we all took together as a group on that special evening in North Kerry, and left with a greater appreciation that on the outskirts of our seaside resort to Ballybunion is a hidden gem, a place surrounded by trees and biodiversity that is the Barna Way. Arriving at Aghafona that afternoon, about 10 to 4, on the outskirts of the town of Ballybunion, to the south, near the old fording point of Aghafona, the first thing that struck me was the sound of natural streams that join near the old Marian Grotto. These streams take their origins from the hillside of Mohan, Laharden, and the place I visited before in my podcast series, Knocknor, to the east. These streams wind their way to the Cashin and the sea. They also have a deep-rooted connection with the earlier people that are now gone, and the ancient cool days and the Druids, steeped in myth and legend. Interrupted by a few motor cars who beat their hooters on the sight of myself, who at that time was armed with a set of bagpipes. Well, it's not often you see a man with a set of bagpipes in the afternoon looking over a wall at a stream. I had a few comments uttered from the windows of the cars in my direction, some of which I would not repeat on my podcast. The first man on the spot was a local collaborator on Brilliant Ballybunion, Sean Culhan, an avid birdwatcher, an old friend. And as usual, the weather was the first part of our conversation, as it always is in Ireland, which at that time was spitting on us like a garden hose. Out of nowhere, like an apparition, Lisa appeared, with the usual clipboard. Then a large crowd formed. We were now gathered. Conversation started. An air of community spirit took over. A throwback to long ago. The time had arrived with Lisa and Grania, welcoming every one of us. Put on the kettle and sit back and enjoy an evening with us all as we journeyed from Ballybunion to the Barna Way. This is Brilliant Ballybunion.
Okay, so you are all very, very welcome. Do you hear me now? Great. To sing for your supper, and it is part of Brilliant Ballybunion, our new project here in town, funded by Creative Ireland. And we are taking 14 lovely collaborators on a 2-year journey to learn about the biodiversity of the area, to learn about growing their own food, and to do everything in an artistic way. So as part of it, we have 3 public events each year, and this is number 2. So we had the first one was during Moya, and that was fantastic, a great success. So that's why we have the theme of the art, we have the theme of music, and we have some of our collaborators, and then we have the lovely public as well here. So you're all very welcome. So what we're going to do this evening is we're going to walk with Danny Houlihan, who is our amazing local eco-trek guide and also one of our collaborators. So we're really lucky to have Danny on board with us. And we're going to walk out to Barna and talk with Danny. We might sing a few songs on the way. Danny has his pipes as well. So as we go out the road, we'll see how it all unfolds. And then out there, then we have Lily Toomey is outside preparing a gorgeous food for us to eat, all produce locally grown, a lot of it by the collaborators in Barna. And then we have some of Danny's famous potatoes, Danny Scanlon's famous potatoes as well. And we're expecting you all to kind of do your little party piece when we go out there, We have the amazing local singing group here. What do you call yourselves, lads?
The amazing
the Brilliant Ballybunion singing group, which we're delighted because you're all
BBSG.
BBSG, that's it from now on. So thank you so much for coming, and we can't wait to show you around outside, and anyone who doesn't know us, you'll get to learn an awful lot more about what's going on in Ballybunion for the next 2 years, which can only be good, And we have Lisa, who is our embedded artist for the whole project, so we're really lucky. And then Rena is going to meet us outside as well. She'll be taking some photos and chatting all about what's going on out in Barna and what's going on with the collaborators. And Lisa, you'll be taking us on a journey really as well, talking about, with Danny, talking about the area, what was here before, what's here now, what hopes we have for the future, what things are quite sad about what's happening to our planet. And but we want to keep it honest and open and optimistic, but still as honest as we can.
And realistic as
And
well.
realistic, yeah. So how's that sound?
Lovely.
And we just pray
We don't
the
get
rain
wet.
stays away, and yeah, fabulous.
Now, after Granny's introduction, I grabbed the pipes and we started off in our direction towards the Barna Way with a few tunes on the pipes.
Okay, why I've stopped you here now, the reason being now, because we're approaching what they call a natural area of focus. Today now, we're approaching Barna. Also behind my back we have Canoe. Archaeologically, just over first, second cow, the fields beyond you can see there's a ring fort over there that dates back to the Iron Age, early Christian period, that identifies settlement in this area. There's not one, but there's several ring forts in this area. For us, for settlement, it's our population, and our population in this area was extremely high, and as you can imagine we've only a handful of ring forts left, so what has happened to them, they've all been either knocked or bulldozed out of it over the years. The road we're here is relatively new, and also the bottom road you come into Ballybunion, they would have been built famine relief roads. What you had here were tracks, there was trackways here. The Muhan Road, as you go up along to Canoe, she winds her way. She was like a sheep path. You know, the sheep will wind their way along a path. If you take one look at the road here, look how straight it is. These were divided when the land was divided by the landlords. You're talking about 1850. It depends on the maps you come across. You might see a little slice. It might be a road. It could be just a small bit of an old gap. But when you look over my head here towards Canoe, you can see the little scattering of bushes and trees. Just imagine the area being completely wooded. I mean, we couldn't see the cache below here. The river's you can see the river just between those houses now. So the deer would have been rampant in this area, so they had protection. Also in this area, from the archaeological point of view, you had what was called Fulachta Fields. Archaeological Fulachta Fields have been found. They called them cooking places of the deer, where they used to cook in open pits by digging a hole in the ground. It could be lined with either stone or wood. Next to it, stone was obtained, heated in a large fire, and dropped one by one, bit by bit, and you could bring this pit to boil. When it was brought to boil, a joint of venison was added, which was wrapped in straw, and it was deposited into that putrid hole in the ground for so many hours, but it was edible, and that's what they cooked. Here in this area, there's about one here in this area near Muhan, up here. That's Muhan, the town of Muhan. And also near St. John's Church, a Fulachta Field was found as well there so many years ago. Again, everyone, as we approach Barna, we must remember the area was adorned with oak, ash, elder, and also elm. Now, Lisa will talk about elm later, because ash has been, the dieback with ash is severe. But we must remember how precious the environment we have here and what we have left here, okay? So we move on another bit.
Leaving this scenic area, we moved on another half a mile to another place where we could stop off and hear a bit of local lore and history and mythology. And again, I led off at this stage with the pipes. Lisa would then join me and speak about the environment.
One of the legends now, what we have, it comes down from about the 1800s, and I obtained this particular myth or legend from, he'd be about a third or fourth cousin of mine by the name of Matty Leahy from Bromore. And it's relating to Barna here. One story relates to Barna, where it was called the legend of Park Quirk, or Park Kerry, the musical field it was called. And the story goes that one of the landed gentry in the area was out hunting. It was a particular day out hunting rabbits and hares in this particular area here, the fields behind me here. And it was all woodland at the time. And apparently the old dog, the hunting dog, he rose a hare or a rabbit. And the dog took flight after the rabbit. across the hillside here that's behind you here. And through the ditches and hedges, the dog went chasing the hare, rabbit. But at one stage, the dog managed to corner the rabbit or hare and took a bite out of his paw. However, the creature ran for it, managed to make a bolt, the dog still in pursuit. Now the hunter again was there with the animal, and they kept chasing across the townlands until they came to a particular field, and the rabbit made one final burst, and it ended up shooting in under the door of a particular thatched house at the time. Again, it was all straw thatched houses you had here in this, straw thatched, maybe mud walls, old stone structure that would be in here in the area. But the old rabbit or hare shot under the door with the particular hunter in pursuit with a gun. Now, he didn't get a chance to take a shot at the rabbit here, but they said that he approached the door anyway, and he banged on the door, and an old woman came to the door, and he explained his story. He said, "Ma'am, you know, we're chasing," he said, "a rabbit or hare's after going in under that door." He said, "Is it inside?" "Oh, no, this is the woman." She said, "Come on in and check it." So she opened the door, left the old landed gentry in, and they came around, they looked around, and the story was that there was nothing out of the place, no hare, nothing around the place. But then the landlord or such, you know, he apologised for, you know, the break up of the evening, you know, and as he was going out the door anyway, he apologised again. But as he turned around there near the fire, the old man was sitting. And however, as the story goes, and it was Matty Lee who related to me, he said there was blood dripping from the hand of the old man sitting next to the fire. Now, what they said was that either by day or by night, whichever was suitable, that the old man used to change into a hare and he'd rampage over the landscape of North Kerry. There was another one, a short one, and it was called the Black Dog of Barna. Now this black dog appears in Irish mythology. I've checked it out even this week, and I got the story not long ago. And they said that at night time you had rambling houses here around Barna where people would go in and there'd be a bit of music, like what's going to happen here this evening. A few songs would be told, and maybe gallons of poaching was drank at the time. But the story goes is that one particular individual was making his way out of Rambling House in Barna, and he was making his way home along an old bohereen around here. And apparently, when he looked back, this dog was giving him chase, so he took flight himself. And they said the old black dog of Barna, they said that the sparks used to fly off his paws and that his eyes were red. But apparently the dog anyway caught up with your man and jumped up on his shoulder. And what did your man do? But he pulled out a knife, and he drew at the hound of the dog to be up on his back. And to the fright of the man, the hound replied back to him, "Draw your knife a second time." The man did not in any way. He didn't draw the knife the second time. The knife was in the throat of the dog. He left the dog on the ground. But the story relates about maybe 24 hours later, someone was walking the road, and they said when they came to the spot, they said all that there was only a heap. They said it was like manure, and the knife was stuck in it. But if he had pulled out the knife, the dog would have finished him off.
Now, after the Black Dog of Barna, Lisa Fingleton, our artistic director, joins us and gives us a brief insight into the ash dieback and about the spread of invasive species.
But you're probably aware as well of ash dieback. So we passed the ash, I was going to point it out, but there is dieback on the ash. So that is a real concern for everybody at the minute in terms of trees. And the other thing, just to point out, we're meant to, because we're a certified organic farm, we're meant to get you all to do a foot wash. But what we might do is we might just give our shoes a little bit of a rub when we're on gravel, because I don't know if you know what this is. Does anybody know what this is? Horsetail. So it's coming in, it's silica, it's supposed to be good for a lot of things, but when you get it into your garden, it's impossible to get it out, and we don't use any sprays or anything like that. So if you're ever going onto anyone's farm, by right we should be scrubbing our shoes and washing our shoes, because this is appearing everywhere now that we walk, and it's because of even the tiniest fingernail of it will go into land, and it'll also blow, I presume, and thing. But it's just again in terms of awareness of our ecosystems, things like this really take over. You'll see it on the top of the beach. On top of where the surf shop is on the men's beach. Mm-hmm. It's all covered in this. But interestingly, Joan was on her last walk, Joan Quinlan, and she was saying that in homeopathic terms, the cure for one of the homeopathic cures for ash dieback is silica, which comes from this.
After listening to this very, very important information from Lisa, in regarding the old ash, the ash dieback, and the spread of invasive species, we were now about to enter the natural area of focus of Barna Darrig and the famous Barna Way. I led off again with the pipes, but just as I approached Barna, I could hear something in the trees. The sound of the birds in their natural habitat of the Barna Way.
So you're all really welcome to Barna. We did that in good time, actually, didn't we? Yeah. And we didn't get wet, which is amazing. So look, so you're all really welcome. And the reason we wanted to bring you here is, well, obviously the good news story is that as well as our neighbours planting 50 acres, we also planted 10 acres. So you see these baby trees, yes. They're actually only 4 years old. Oh. So there's, so we planted 10,000 trees here that are oak, birch, Scots pine, hawthorn, rowan, and they're all kind of mixed there in a forest, and they're amazing. But the pride and joy that I loved most in Barna was these elm trees, because I don't know if people know about elm trees. They have a disease in Ireland called Dutch elm disease, and there was very few of them left. And so this tree, George and I were just putting our arms around today. We were saying it's about probably 40, 50 years old. So, but on Sunday it started to die. Oh. So it's loved the elm. This could transform everything. We could bring the elm back. So, how do we speak of things that we fear? How do we hear the things that we need to hear? How do we choose a path that is new without going astray and losing our way? Now we'll all sing to the trees. And how do we love? How do we love? How do we love? How do we speak when we are afraid? How do we find the light in forests of dark and shade? How do we love when hate is raining from above? Oh, how do we love? How do we love? And how do we love? Oh, how do we love? How do we love? And this is the last verse. How to be kind when moments of meanness fill our mind. Oh, how to be kind. How to be kind. How can we give so all others can thrive and live? Oh, how can we love, and how can we give? And everyone, how can we love? Oh, how can we love? Oh, how can we love? Garamila Maghrib.
Just on a side note, Lucy was saying that our Woodland is 4 years old, and the the guy who planted the guy who planted
George
Maloney comes. He came about 2 years ago, and he said, I can't believe how well they've grown, because like they're massive actually. If you walk among them, they're actually really big. And he said they're really surviving. It's amazing. So he brought a load of people to see him, and I said, but there's no trees in Ireland. Has Lisa gone around singing to him?
Now, after listening to those serious words about the dieback of the elm tree, and that beautiful song by Lisa, and Rena's lovely words there, we moved on to Sing for Your Supper. Music now from our singing group, which added a touch of class to the evening, led by banjo player, the famous Don Liston of Ballybunion.
Thank you all very, very much for coming. It's wonderful to have you. And the Earthlings came from a friend of ours who is from Ukraine, got tired of saying I'm from Ukraine, and he says, I'm only going to call myself an Earthling from now on, because he said we've too many divisions in the world, and if we were all Earthlings and all valued every life equally, then we wouldn't be in the trouble that we're in. So in honour to Yaroslav, the Earthling stage is here. So you're really welcome. Thank you.
All the doors swing open, your lives are folding before your very eyes. Such a strange affair. Walking around the part of the sound, forget all your downs, feel the air. Beautiful affair. The mountains seem no closer than before, and you wonder why. You know your mind is going high, and the only way is to live to survive. Make you feel alive. When all the doors swing open, your life's unfolding before your very eyes. Such a strange affair. Walking around, listening to the sounds, forget your down, feel the air. Beautiful affair. Comes a time when you look around and you see the ocean waiting for your eyes, showing no surprise. Make your way down to the shore, you'll line the border and give yourself a smile. Makes you feel alive. Forget your down, feel the air. Beautiful affair. When the doors swing open, your lives are folding before your very eyes. Walking around, listening to the sounds, forget your down, feel the air. Beautiful affair. La 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 la. Sala sorda tosta gali. Kerry fain my loving folk, there may bresh a coroner, she lum, she seg board, be a goal and shock imagine. Nil la, tana la, nil la, the whaler margin, tana la, the bag of fold, Sala sorda tosta gali. Nil la.
Well done.
Now, that was fabulous from our singing group. It was absolutely fantastic to be there and be present for that. Joining us next again was Lisa, who said a few words, and also Lily Toomey, who was our chef on the night. I mean, she's an expert at her craft, her art, and she prepared a beautiful meal for us on the night, and she spoke a few words as well. So we'll just have a listen to this.
And so, artist and chef, she brought us in here to the forest where we did a meditation first, so we were really quiet, and then we took off our shoes and we walked to pick the food. We drew the food for 3/4 of an hour, then we came back up and we ate the food very quietly. But the idea of it again is just to slow ourselves down and actually taste. Because a lot of us, if you grew up, there was 7 in my family, and if you weren't eating it fast, it was gone. So we've grown up, particularly in Ireland, where we eat food just a little bit, sometimes too fast. So just today, really be mindful of the lovely food that Lily has made for us. Lily.
Oh, I'm hiding in the trees.
Come.
Oh my gosh. It's so nice to just be like working away inside and hear the beautiful music. Oh, this is so nice. So yes, I've made some food for everybody today with beautiful produce that I got right here in Barna. So we're going to have a roast vegetable tian. It's a French dish. So basically we're just showcasing how incredible the produce is. We have beautiful potatoes from Danny Houlihan, but then the tomatoes, courgettes, beetroot we got here. And we're going to serve that with a pesto that's made with the leaves from the carrots, which I didn't really think about until Lisa recommended it to me the other day. I was like, yeah, it's great. I'm never going to throw them away again, I guess. Yeah, the greens.
Really tasty.
We also got some beautiful dillisk that was picked here in Ballybunion, so we're going to top it off with that. And then just a salad that was made from veg grown by the brilliant Ballybunion folks. So yeah, the veg did all the work. It was not me at all. Yeah, clap before you taste it. That's perfect.
Then we sat down for a while and consumed the beautiful food that had been grown in the garden at the Barna Way. And what Lily had prepared, it was fabulous. Then it was time for a few songs, which finished out the evening. This is brilliant Ballybunion.
Down by the Sally Gardens, my love and I did meet. She crossed the Sally Gardens with little snow white feet. She bid me to take life easy as the leaves grow on the tree. But I was young and foolish, and with her laid on the green. In a field by the river, my love and I did stand, and on my leaning shoulder she laid her snow white hand. She bid me take life easy as the grass grows on the weirs. But I was young and foolish, and now I am full of tears.
It's about
nature and love. So in translate it means "Oh in the groove by the Dunai." Dunai, it's river in Ukraine. So I try singing with a lovely woman.
Ою при Дунаю соловей щебече, він свою всю пташину до гніздечка кличе. Ой, тьох-тьох і тьох-тьох-тьох, соловей щебече, він свою всю пташину до гніздечка кличе. Ой, тьох-тьох і тьох-тьох-тьох, соловей щебече, він свою всю пташину до гніздечка кличе. Ою-аю при Дунаю, то музика грає, бас гуде, скрипка плаче, милий мій гуляє. Ой, тьох-тьох і тьох-тьох-тьох, то музика грає, бас гуде, скрипка плаче, милий мій гуляє. Ой, тьох-тьох і тьох-тьох-тьох, та музика грає, бас гуде, скрипка плаче, милий мій гуляє. Ою-гаю при Дунаю, стою самотою, плачу, тужу, ще ридаю, милий над тобою. Ой, тьох-тьох і тьох-тьох-тьох, соловей щебече, він свою всю пташину до гніздечка кличе. Ой, тьох-тьох і тьох-тьох-тьох, соловей щебече, він свою всю пташину до гніздечка кличе.
Sean, a fox poem.
Yeah, so I don't really write poems. There's not much structure to it. I wrote this about foxes during COVID when we had nothing else to do. And as Danny will tell you, up around Bromore and Faha, the place is festooned with ringforts. And normally the country fox is kind of more aloof in country areas, but particularly it lives in dens down the cliff and between ringforts and Bromore. So I wrote this anyway. So darkness slips her, field ghost, famine dog, rancid beauty, keeper of the nights untold, she's there, 3 M's, only one, just there, brandishing an eerie wild, haunting while hunting, hunting while haunting, as gapping barb collude for tuft, she's in the fort, fairies welcome, kindred spirits, ancient spirits, underworld.
May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. upon your face. May the rain fall softly on your fields, and until we meet again, may you keep safe in the gentle, loving arms of God. For everything there is a season, a time for loving, a time for letting go. In all things, God is near, always guiding your way. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, upon your face. May the rain fall softly on your fields, and until we meet again, may you keep safe in the gentle, loving arms of God. May you keep safe in the gentle, loving arms of God.
Thank you.
Truly, we live with mysteries too marvellous to be understood. How grass can be nourishing in the mouths of the lambs. How rivers and stones are forever in allegiance with gravity, while we ourselves dream of rising. How two hands touch and the bonds will never be broken. How people come from delight or the scars of damage to the comfort of a poem. Let me keep my distance always from those who think they have the answers. Let me keep company always with those who say, look, and laugh in astonishment and bow their heads.
Uparcie i skrycie, o życie, kocham cię, kocham cię, kocham cię nad życie. Jem jabłko winne i myślę, ach ty życie łysmych winne, nie zamienię cię na inne. Kocham cię życie, poznawać pragnę cię, pragnę cię, pragnę cię w zachwycie i spotkać człowieka, który tak życie kocha i tak jak ja. Chcę spotkać w tym dniu człowieka, co czuje jak ja. Chcę powierzyć mu swój niepokój. Chcę w jego wzroku dostrzec to światełko, które sprawi, że on powie jak ja, jak ja. Uparcie i skrycie, o życie, kocham cię, kocham cię, kocham cię nad życie. Jem jabłko winne i myślę, ech ty życie wezmij winne, nie zamienię cię na inne. Kocham cię życie, poznawać pragnę cię, pragnę cię, pragnę cię w zachwycie i spotkać człowieka, który to życie kocha i tak jak ja nadzieję ma.
Martino Tyrone. He's was an Irish poet from the Aran Islands, considered kind of one of the three poets who revolutionised the Irish language in terms of poetry. I chose it because it kind of shows us a simpler way of life, which he kind of harked back to. He didn't like living in the city. He really kind of wanted that island life again. So just kind of relying on Mother Nature to provide for us. So I thought it might be a good poem. I'll read it in Irish, and if anybody would like the English translation, I can do that as well. So it's called An Tarach Hir by Martin O'Diron. Far Iglana Toliv, O Have Spoige, Sa Cunas Bug, Inwian an Lay. Is Jas San Uame, San Arach Hir. Far Ig Cahiv, Kishon Eragrim, Agus an Amin Arig, Ig Tanav Sagrian, Clada Vaughan, Is Gal an Roirge, San Arach Hir. Mano Iloka Bioga, Suis an Tra, A Koti Balaha, Shkali Hias Fuhu. Is Rair Huan Kuatak San Arach Hir. Willie Tirshul, Ig Mati Roa, Bod Lon Laheish, Ig Chop Dawalia, Oariga Or, Ig Dera an Lay, San Arach Hir.
We have responsibility to each other, but we have a responsibility to the planet. We really, really do have a responsibility to the planet. And when I read Lisa's thing about the trees, we are not separate. The trees breathe the same way we breathe. If anything, they support us. And we can't be different from that, and we need to embrace that. So we're going to do it very easy. It's I had to do it nice and big, Rosemary, so I didn't have to worry about my glasses. And it's just 2 words, J-Ma. So J means victory, and Ma means mother. That's it, J-Ma. So the whole chanting thing is great because it's not a language that belongs to anybody, it belongs to everybody. It's just sound. So we don't have to worry about pronunciation because there is not a mother out there that wouldn't come running to her child if she was calling her name wrong, correct? So we don't need to worry about that. So J-Ma is all we're going to chant. So we're going to get a bit of rhythm with it as well, but we'll start with, so it's, oh God, I'm going to the lads now, they can sing or something. So it's J-Ma, 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 Victory to the mother.
It's not about nationality, it's not about religion, it's not about anything. It's about celebrating everything that we have and that we love together. And in particular, I think we're all bonded together by love, and we're all bonded together by love of nature. So really thank you for that.
Thank Lily and Grania and all the lads from like the brilliant Ballybunion for the we've had a great journey for the last 4 months, and we've another year and a half to go in it. And also I suppose, like, you know, for me, like when you talk about something, like I have to thank my grandmother and my uncle. Like, you know, I wouldn't have grown vegetables, only we had no choice. That's what you grew up with. And my uncle was an amazing grower, my grandmother was an amazing grower, and this was her house. And you know, when I got it the first couple of, like even until about 4 or 5 years ago, I almost kind of resented it. I was like, geez, this is such a legacy to be carrying on. But now I'm so grateful and so thankful, and I've turned a corner with it, and I just think, we're so privileged. Like I walk around here every day thinking I'm so privileged. In the winter, in the summer, in the quiet moments, in these moments, it's like to have a little, and for women to have a little bit of land is incredible. But for to have it and like when I bought this in the 90s, I wanted it to be an open farm. and it just never manifested. But in a way now it's become an open people farm with lots of biodiversity, and you know what, it's all the better for it, and just thank you. Cheers.
And just Grania for all of the work that she's been doing.
Well, everyone, I hope you've enjoyed this podcast. I certainly have. And from all of us in brilliant Ballybunion, we'd like to say slán. But before I leave, I'd like to thank Lisa Fingleton, our artistic director, Rena Blake, our horticulturalist and photographer, and Grania Toomey, who put a pile of work into this event. It was fabulous, Grania. Well done. Also, to all of our singers and to our musicians who took part in the event. You were fabulous, guys. It was absolutely fabulous. Last but not least, I'd like to thank our chefs, Steph, who has been along the way with us on our brilliant Ballybunion journey, and Lily Toomey, who produced beautiful food on the night. Thank you, Lily. It was absolutely fabulous. Now, I must put my pipes on my back and once more leave the beautiful Barna, the famous Barna Way, and walk the way back to brilliant Ballybunion. Surrounding me that evening were sounds. And I'll leave you with those sounds. The sounds of the birds. Before I go, if you would like to support my ongoing research and podcast episodes as a patron, why not buy me a coffee? This will be used to update my research and equipment. I will give everyone who contributes a shout out to my series. Just click on the link below in the description to support me in any way, big or small. That's buymeacoffee.com/YXQ Danny. So for the moment, from the Barna Way, slán.
Thanks for listening to our show. Through its people, its heritage, and its rugged coastline, this is truly Danny Houlihan's Irish experience. Bye for now.